What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Live with Wolfman. This is a show about martial arts, social media, photography, videography, the things I'm interested in, things you're interested in. This is episode 9. Right now, I'm just waiting for people to tune in, so sit back, relax, say hi in the comments, all that good stuff, and we're going to get started real shortly. I'm over here setting up for the show. Today's show is about a topic that we kind of started to talk about last week, and then there was a lot of interest, and I thought we should have a follow-up episode. And basically, the topic is how do you get sponsored? How does sponsorship work in the real world, and what can you do with it? What can you do with it as a martial artist? That's what I want to talk about. Today's actually a really exciting topic. I haven't heard anyone ever talk about this before, and I think this could change somebody's life that's listening today. Like, literally, this topic is so important. It could change somebody's life. So, I'm going to wait for a couple more people to tune in. If you're here, say hi. Tune in, drop a like, drop a love, drop a floating heart. The more people that we get to tune in, the better this show gets. Feel free to also just give a shout out to your Instagram. If you're trying to grow Instagram, that's kind of the main topic today. Say, this is my Instagram account, guys. Let's get things moving, huh? I'm gonna do one thing here. There was one thing I wanted to do before this show started, and I was just a little late on it, so I'm trying to get it set up here. By the way, thank you everybody that's been sending me private messages about suggestions about topics I should be talking about on the show, and all the positive feedback you guys have had. Like, I do this show because you guys give me feedback, so I need that stuff. So keep sending in all the positive energy, and the show will continue to exist and get better. Good morning, Eric Day. Hello again, John Canabe. Rian, good morning. Eric Day is giving out his Instagram. Today we're talking about social media. We're talking about how to be sponsored, why sponsorship's important, why growing Instagram's important, and why it's important if you're a martial arts athlete and you're trying to step your game up to another level. I mean, at some point, everybody's going to have to come to terms with the fact that you can't compete in the circuit for the rest of your life. So what do you do? What's your big picture? And today we're going to be talking about that kind of stuff. So it should be a good show, and I think there's been a lot of positive feedback about it. So I'm excited to get started. And we're going to get started in just about 1 minute. I just really wanted to find a little video here that I could transition into, because there's a big news topic that I wanted to bring up today. Jessica, thanks for liking the show. Hey, if you guys can do me a favor, get some more people on here, hit that share button. Let's get more people tuned in. That's going to make this show a lot greater experience. Almost got my ducks in a row. Who else is here? Luke, what's up? You're excited for this one. Good. I'm glad you're excited. Every episode I try to make it totally worth your time. I spend an hour doing these live streams, and I don't want to waste anybody's time and talk a bunch of BS. Like, I want to talk about real things that matter, that make a difference, that you're interested in. So I'm trying to do a good job with this show. So hopefully today is awesome. All right, I got the thing set up. All right, sweetness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, episode number 9. Welcome to Live with Wolfman. I am your host, Jacob Wolfman, and today we're talking about sponsorship opportunities. We're talking about how you can take the things that you're passionate about and make money off of them. That's the dream. That's a goal in life, and sponsorship can be a big part of that. It's not the path for everybody, but it can definitely be a path for you. And today we're talking about some stuff that your instructors never told you about, your mom's never told you about. Like, nobody's ever talking about this stuff because, frankly, they've never done it, and they don't know. They've never had the creative mindset to think that can be done. And a lot of people grew up in a time where this wasn't even possible. But hey, guess what? We live in 2017, and we live in a world that's totally different. We got these old paradigms that we're trying to live in. We got these old school karate tournaments with this old mentality and this old way, and it's just so lagging behind. And I just don't have the time or the patience for the sport to try to catch up to where I want you to get to. So I'm going to give you guys some insight today on how you can become the thing you want to become. And I'm going to show you a couple examples of some people that are doing a great job. They've figured it out, or they're figuring it out because it's an evolving process. And they have found a way to take their passion in their life and make it into a career. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So if you are 12 years old and listening to this, tune in and you'll get some good stuff. If you're 18 years old, tune in. You're going to get some good stuff. If you're 30 years old, tune in. You're going to get some good stuff. And if you have some kids, stay tuned because this is going to help you too. And if you're an adult, obviously this can help you as well. This rule is not age specific. It's not talent specific. It's just it's a principle of life. It's some things that I believe in. Some things I want to share with you guys. And if you guys participate in the chat section here, it's just going to make it more fun. So let's see who is tuned in today. I want to say some hellos. I already said hi to a couple of you guys. Eden Williams, how you doing? Mike Welch, what's up? Mike Welch, I'm going to teach you how to get sponsored, buddy. If you guys want sponsorship, just ask Mike Welch. He's got infinite money, infina money. Mike Welch has infina money, and he's willing to give it to you. That's right. Just hit up Mike Welch. Tell him I said that. All right. Let's get going. Ashton, Kirkland, how you doing? All right. So before we get started, as always, I like to do some topical kind of news things. And yesterday, I told you guys about Martial Arts Athlete Day coming up in the UK, coming up in Australia. I was just playing the trailer at the top of the episode for the Australia one. They're going to be doing forms, weapons, sparring, kicks, tricks. You're going to be hanging out with hyper pros that we fly in and the best athletes in the country. So don't miss those events. If you're in the UK or surrounding countries, October 22nd, you can go to Hyper's Facebook page to sign up, and then Australia, November 19th. But I want to talk about something else that is not necessarily about an event. It's actually about a person. I've also mentioned on the show before that Alan Davis, I want to talk about Alan for a minute. A lot of you guys know that Alan has been fighting cancer. He was diagnosed a couple weeks ago, and he underwent some surgery, and basically it affected his lymphatic system, and it was just a tumor in his saliva glands. I'm not 100% sure, but cancer is scary. So we've all been kind of wondering what's going on, and then the Hyper crew, we love Alan. Alan's been like one of the biggest, loudest supporters of Hyper for several years now, and he's grown so much, and we've watched him grow and been there with him. And we wanted to make a little video, and it wasn't going to be about cancer per se. It was more about just a little message. So I'm going to play this message for a minute and talk more about Alan while it just kind of plays. It's just him talking. It's a really quick video, but it's worth watching.
It's the best feeling in the world. You could see a lot.
Oh no. Sorry guys, what happened? All these chats, you guys are breaking up. You're breaking my vibe. Stop talking to me.
It's the best feeling in the world. You could see a lot. It's different from everybody else. You get airborne, you can see over people. And when they say that you're shorter than them and they can see over you, well, when you're airborne, you can see over much more than just that person. You can see over everybody. It's the best feeling in the world. Defying gravity. Defying gravity.
Yeah, okay. So that's just a quick little fun message with Alan. Anyhow, there's been an update, and I wanted to just pass the good news on to everybody. I'm going to read it just to make sure that I don't mess it up. Where is my message? Okay, so this is an update about Alan, if anybody was interested in. It says, although it's taken a week, it's a photo. Alan has every reason to flash his typical smile. The pathology report demonstrated that the entire tumor was included in the specimen. We call this negative surgical margins. It represents the most ideal result. For this, he will not need any additional treatment, such as radiation or chemotherapy, and no longer cancer. Basically, no more treatment for cancer needs to happen. And he's going to go back into surgery on Friday for reconstruction of the area and to just clean up his first surgery. It's going to require a tissue graft. There's definitely going to be some recovery time involved and possibly even a third surgery, but it sounds like he's going to make a full recovery. So that's the best possible news that we could all hope for. So that's awesome. And recently I see that Sensei Sharky started up a basically a GoFundMe account to try to get some funds for his family, because there's a lot of things that go into these procedures. There's copay. You know, his mom's had to take a lot of time off of work. There's travel expenses, there's hotel expenses, and there's all kinds of other bills. So obviously it's very expensive. And so if anybody's willing to help out Alan today, I'm going to just put a link in the comments to his account. And if you want to drop a couple bucks, I'll do some. I mean, I was going to do a thing where every like I got, I'd donate $1, but I don't really want to turn the show into that. Instead, I'm just going to give up $100 for Alan, because yeah, kid means a lot. I wish I could give more, but yeah. So anyhow, let's switch gears. Alan's doing great, so I'm happy about that. Who else is in the chat today? Samari, what's up? Hello, Kevin, how you doing? Hector, how you doing? Amy's here. Jason's here. I got my regulars today. That's awesome. So today we're talking about sponsorship opportunities. I'm going to share with you guys some ideas of how you can take the things you do that you're most passionate about that don't seem to make money and turn them into an opportunity to make money. And I'm just going to share a couple principles, and we're just going to kind of chat. And you guys are more than welcome to participate in this chat. I don't want it just to be a lecture. You can jump in the comments and say how you feel about the subject as well. If you're tuned in, then you're interested. So the first thing I want to do is actually point out I'm going to point out 3 channels that have proven to be really successful. And the first channel that I'm going to point out is Hyper Pro, actually. Everybody knows this person, and she has had a very large. So I'm talking about Chloe Bruce. So let's jump over into Chloe Bruce's channel here. I'm just gonna transition it. So Chloe Bruce has 65,000 followers. For those of you that have never heard of Chloe Bruce is a veteran martial artist. She has a lot of martial arts tournament accomplishments, but she also has a lot of accomplishments in the stunt world as well. You might have seen her in I'm blanking out. What's that Avengers movie with the talking raccoon? Why can I not think of that? Somebody help me out. What's the talking raccoon Avengers movie? Why am I blank? It's because I'm live. That's why I can't think of it. But you know exactly what movie I'm talking about. She was the green creature, the green woman. She's also Rey. She played Rey's stunt woman in Star Wars. So huge accomplishments. But before she had those big accomplishments, she already had worked for years developing a really strong social media channel. And so I would kind of want to take a peek at what she's doing here. So she's got 65,000 followers. Pretty good on Instagram. I think on Facebook she might have like 500,000. Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you guys. Guardians of the Galaxy. And I was looking at her channel today, and like, here's an example. Once you get 65,000 followers, you can do something like this. Okay, this is just a fun commercial where she took her talents, which is martial arts, and she found a company that has absolutely nothing to do with martial arts at all, and she found a way to bring those two worlds together to help promote this company's product. So this company.
Hi guys, today I've got a little challenge for myself, and that is to attempt to knock over the mighty mug. So apparently, as long as this is on a flat surface, you're guaranteed that it will not fall over. Let's put this to the test.
So you can see she's having fun with it. She's found a way to, like, she took her martial arts and then she applied it into a commercial, and she's showing it off to her community that she's built.
So if you'd like to win one of these mugs, I'm giving away one on my channel. Okay? All you've got to do...
So that's enough of that. So you get it, right? I mean, I'm not here to turn you into a businessman, but the point is that Chloe has worked her butt off to become an amazing martial artist, and she's also worked her butt off to grow a really large following, and then she used those passions, her passion for martial arts and her passion for engaging with other people, and she was able to approach brands, or brands approached her and said, hey, let's work together and do X, Y, and Z. And that was just something that was posted like 6 weeks ago or something. So she has so many things going on all the time. On top of that, she even has things where, she has her own thing going on. Obviously, Hyper is one of her sponsors, so she's always repping Hyper stuff. So Chloe does a really great job. And if you guys want to kind of get an idea, if you're sick of watching the live stream right now and you've had enough, I say just go ahead and look at Chloe's stuff, study. I mean, yes, she's amazing, but also study all the kinds of posts she does and what's working for her. So I want to show you guys another really successful Instagram account that's out there, and this one his name is Juji. So there's a misconception out there that you become Instagram famous overnight, and that is just not the case. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of patience, and you also have to have something to offer. And we'll get more into that later on in the show. I'm going to give you guys 10 steps to get known. So just stay tuned for that stuff. So let's look at Juji Mufu here. Now, Juji started off as a martial artist. That was his origins, and then he started a website called Tricks Tutorials, and this was way back in the day. And he really started. He helped build the whole tricking community, and he from there. He moved on. He always had an interest for tricks and martial arts and stuff, but then he wanted to become a bodybuilder, and now he's just a beast. And then what he did is he took his lifestyle of being a bodybuilder and he built himself into a brand. And the brand is now called Juji Mufu. And he's got his own shop, and he does product deals with a coffee company, and he works with all kinds of different things all the time. So I've never seen this video. I'm kind of scared to show it on my channel right now. This is his latest video. He's kind of crazy. So it's just crazy guys. I don't know what they're doing. They're just being nuts with horse heads. Deadlift party this weekend. I don't understand it. See the... Okay, whatever. So that's Juji Mufu's account. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be as crazy as Juji Mufu in order to get some attention on the internet, but it doesn't help. And I'm not saying you need to start acting like a crazy person. You just need to be yourself, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But Juji has nearly 1 million followers on Instagram, 943,000. So he is the most well-known tricker on the planet, in my opinion. Even though he's a lot more known for his bodybuilding, he's also let me see if I can find a video to show you guys that he doesn't just lift weights. Is this one? Yeah, see? He's also an acrobat, as he likes to call himself. Really, he's a tricker. He does flash kicks and 540s and 720s, and he's been doing it for 15 plus years. And he's crazy. All right, so there's another account. And then the final one that I want to show you guys today before I jump into my 10 tips of the most, of 10 tips of how to get known, is I wanted to show you guys a guy by the name of Kyle Skelly, who you might find a little bit more relatable to where you're at. Because you might be looking at Chloe Bruce and go, well, she can hold a round kick at 180 degrees, and she's amazingly talented and one of the most amazing people on the planet. And then you might look at Juji Mufu and go, yeah, well, I can't deadlift 1,000 pounds. Like, I'm not that special. So I want to show you guys another example where, well, frankly, Kyle Skelly is pretty amazing, but he is not the number one tricker in the world, but he is amazing at finding a way to take his passion, turn it into a career. So he started up a company. He's, in his early 20s, and he's had his company running for, I don't know, I'm just going to guess like 4 or 5 years now. He's got 63,000 subscribers, and his company basically just sells t-shirts to trickers, to martial arts trickers. And martial arts tricking is a subset, smaller world, much smaller than martial arts, but he's been able to adapt to the modern way things work, and now he's grown, and he's got an awesome channel. And he does that like the vlog thing, and you've seen the vlog. Like a lot of people that are in this chat, they'll go on YouTube and they'll watch their favorite vloggers, and you see behind the scenes of their life, and that's what he does. Like, he shows some tricking.
I got mail. I have no idea what this is. We're gonna open it. What is this?
So I'm not gonna watch all of his episode, but he's got a couple things where he's showing tricks, but then it's just behind the scenes. You get to see his life, and he's just able to create content on a regular basis, and he's able to show off his life to everyone. And that's the dream, in my opinion. Like, that's the dream. You're able to take things you love, and he loves tricking, and then he films it on a regular basis, turns it into a story or a vlog, and now he's successful. I saw a video of him the other day. He was flying first class to Japan to go to a tricking event just to cover it. He wasn't even competing. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And you guys can definitely do the same thing, especially if you younger kids out there, you're like 12 years old right now, and you have a deep passion for martial arts. You can get to a level where you have 60,000 subscribers, and in 5 years, the popularity of these sports are going to grow so much that you could have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and that's just the way it is. So you got to take advantage of it, and you can't be sitting here waiting and listening to the old mindset. You can't always just be like, I want to have team so-and-so on the back of my uniform, because team so-and-so is not going to pay for your hotel. They're not going to pay for your airline flights. They hardly will pay for your tournament registration. It's more of just a social status thing. It doesn't really get you anywhere. But if you're able to build yourself a personal brand, saying, hey, I'm a martial artist and I have 100,000 subscribers on my Instagram account, well, you're going to get somewhere. You're going to open the doors, and there's going to be so many more opportunities for you. So if you guys are tuning in, I would really appreciate it if you guys gave me some reactions, give me some hearts, give me some shares. It looks like we have another big group today. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. I actually spent a little bit of time this morning building some screens and things. If you guys got some pen and paper and some notes, now would be a good time to get out your pen and paper and your notes so that we can talk about this stuff. Thank you guys for the hearts. Mike Welch wanted to correct me and let me know that Infinity does pay for things such as hotel and tournament registration and those types of things. But I bet you that Infinity doesn't pay you a salary just to train. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about high-level stuff. I'm talking about stuff so that you don't have to go get a job working 9 to 5 in an office someday. I'm talking about something where you literally just do what you love for a living. And obviously, if you want to become a martial arts school owner, that path is there. And you can do that. But not everybody wants to open up a martial arts school. You might want to just train. And that's a real possibility if you work hard. And I'm going to give you guys some insights into that possibility. This is a new concept. This is new stuff that it's just people just don't, especially in the martial arts world, they just don't know. And before I explain my tips, I want to put you guys in a certain mindset of what I'm talking about. Why I keep saying, like, people just don't know. People just don't know. Let's say, what was it, 2007-ish, 2008? Maybe it was 2006. About 10, let's just say 10 years ago. It doesn't matter the exact number. Point is, about 10 years ago, the double corkscrew, and you guys, everybody in the chat knows what double corkscrew is. It's a cork, but you spin 2 times in the air and you land. And now today people can do triple cork, and Michael Guthrie can do quad cork, so he spins 4 times in the air and land. 10 years ago, a double corkscrew was a joke. It was a theory. It was something people thought about, but they never thought it was like that realistic until it was landed. And then it was landed again, and it landed again. And then all of a sudden, people had this mind shift where they opened up their brains, and it allowed people to think like, oh yeah, double cork's possible. And now, literally, I have seen trickers go from not knowing what tricking is, and within 2 months landing double cork. I mean, they can't throw a hook kick, but that's besides the point. What the fact is they open their minds because they saw other people doing it. So right now, I'm in this shift where I'm trying to open up your minds and show you that there is a way, even though nobody's quite doing it quite enough yet. Kyle Skelly was a great example of it. Same thing with triple cork. There was a time period where triple cork was not possible. Just dumb. And then I think it was 2009 when Scotty Skelton landed it for the first time, and people went, what? That's humanly possible? Oh my gosh. And then now 2016, or was it 2017? In the past year or so, then Guthrie landed the quad cork. So anything's possible. And if you apply that concept to this, anything's possible. You just have to allow yourself to go out there and do it and believe that it's possible, regardless if other people have or haven't done it yet. Sarah asked, does screenshots work? Yeah, you can take screenshots. That's cool. So I'm going to give you guys your first screenshot. So here it is. 10 steps to get known on social media. This is the future of where the world is heading. You got to know how social media works. You got to crush it. Okay, so step number 1, get your screenshots ready. Make it clear who you are, okay? So when you open up your Instagram account, look at it as if it's someone else other than yourself. And figure out, can someone figure out who you are within 3 seconds? Okay? Now, when I say who you are, it doesn't mean you have to show everybody every part of you. It doesn't mean you have to be like, well, I like football, and I like karate, and I'm an honor roll student, and I'm this, and I'm that, and blah, 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 blah. Just pick a couple things. Like, I'm a martial artist, and I love video games, and maybe one other thing. And your profile should reflect only those things. If all you ever talk about is, if you love martial arts and you only want people to know that you're a martial artist, I don't want to see any other pictures. I don't want to see pictures of you at prom. I don't want to see pictures of you doing anything that isn't related specifically to martial arts, because if I follow you, I'm following you as if you were a TV channel. And I decided I'm going to tune in to this martial arts TV channel. So you don't want to disappoint the audience that you're building. You want to be very clear about who you are. Now, one day you decide you want to be someone else and you want to promote a different part of your life, then maybe you make a new channel about it or something. But always just be very, very cognizant about every post you make, and that it always is like on message of the kind of person that you want the world to think of you as. This show right here, like I said, I'm a big Green Bay Packers fan, but I'm not going to be talking about the Packers on this show. I'm really, really like all about politics and the news and things that are going on. I got a lot of opinions about current events, but I'm not going to talk about them on this channel. I'm talking about martial arts because that's why you tune in. You tune in here because you expect a certain type of product. So I stay on point. Everybody stays happy. That's how your Instagram channel should work. So stay on point. Make it clear who you are. I think that's probably the number one tip. That's why I listed it at number 1. So let's move on. Number 2. Oh, Marilyn, I'm your inspiration. Thank you. What's up, Bonnie? Number 2. Make friends with people of similar Instagram following. So what I mean is, don't, if you're trying to get as many followers as Kim Kardashian, well, the step isn't go be friends with Kim Kardashian, because right now you're a nobody, especially in that kind of world, right? You have 200 followers, you don't have 2 million. So Kim Kardashian has absolutely no interest in working with you. But if you have 200 followers, well, someone else that has 200 followers would be way more open to listening to you. So go ahead and find other people that are just like you. And so being like you could mean a couple things. It could be like you have the same number of followers, or the same level of engagement, or it could just mean like you're both martial artists, or you both like, whatever your message is. If you're a video gamer, like you both like video games. Okay, so just connect with those people. And how do you connect with them? Well, you follow them and you comment on all of their photos, and you comment on the comments. So here's a little trick. It's not one of my tips, is it? It's not one of my tips. So this is part of the tips. You want to find the most engaging people on Instagram. You don't want to just find followers, okay? Because there's that whole follow for follow game. That game doesn't work. Like, even if it gets you 100,000 followers, they're all fake followers. They don't care about you. They just care about followers. And then it doesn't work. And then it comes the day where you want to like promote a sponsorship or you want to talk about something. Nobody's listening to you. They don't care about you. So you don't want that. You want to find people that care about you. And you want to find people that are like on Instagram just as much as you. And the people that are on Instagram just as much as you are the first couple people that make comments on those bigger accounts. So go find those bigger accounts, look at the first couple comments, and then follow those people and leave comments on their channel. And then see who's leaving comments on their channel and go follow them. And then that's how you kind of spider web your way and you find the people that are kind of like in your zone. So that's number 2. Make friends with people that are similar to you on Instagram. Okay, and you just keep doing that. I don't care if you have 100,000 followers. That's just how it works. You just keep doing that method. And it takes a lot of man hours, a lot of power. So if you're young and you don't have a job, you don't have any responsibilities, you got a lot of free time, then you just pull out your phone every day and you just work it. And you just say, hello, how you doing? What's up? Hey, you're cool. And make real comments too. Don't sound like a spam bot. If somebody's doing a backflip, don't just say, cool. Say, hey, nice backflip. Then it shows that you actually paid attention, right? All right, so let's jump on to number 3. All right, so for tip number 3 is make a list of the brands and the people who you like the most on Instagram. All right, so let's say you want to work with Nike, or you want to work with Hyper, or you want to work with Coca-Cola or something. Big brands. Hyper's not as big as those ones, but you want to work with really high-level brands, but you're not quite there yet. You don't have enough following. You don't have enough skill set or whatever it is. You just don't have enough. Just pay attention to them and make a list and have them in your head. Like, what does somebody that gets sponsored by Gatorade, what kind of person is that? Who are they looking to sponsor, and how can I fit into that equation? What do I have to be a sponsored Gatorade athlete? Okay. You can also think on a smaller scale. So maybe there's like a smaller company, like a water bottle company, or I don't know, some. Let me look at here. Look at this P-Touch label maker. All right, let's say P-Touch label maker just doesn't get a lot of love on Instagram yet because nobody gives them any recognition. Well, this is a really bad example, but if I start making pictures and I got my P-Touch Instagram, this in the picture, and I tag it and I at their Instagram account and I hashtag their name, then they're gonna notice it and they're gonna be like, hey, There's somebody that loves our product. And then you're going to develop that relationship, and eventually maybe you're going to get into a conversation like, hey, I've been growing my following and I love your guys' stuff. Can you give me free stuff, or can you give me some money, or can we work up some deal so that I can talk more about you guys, and then you guys give me something in exchange? And that's how it works, but we'll get to that. But first, you just got to make a list. So make a list of the brands you like and the people you like. Go, like I showed you 3 brands today. I showed you Chloe, I showed you Juji, and I showed you Kyle Skelly. Go look at their YouTube or their Instagram channels and take note. How often are they posting? What do their posts look like? What kind of followers do they have? Just see what their vibe is. See what's working for them. And then that will give you some guidance as to how you can grow yourself as well. All right, so tip numero 4. We have, ready? You guys ready? Tip number 4, post good stuff and do it consistently. So this is probably the hardest part, is actually posting good stuff. It's hard to post good stuff all the time. And here's a little tip, and I'm stealing this straight out of Gary Vee. Gary Vee says, document, don't create. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel on every single post. You don't have to have every single post be like this viral thing. I'm going to tell you the 5-finger rules of social media. If you're ever stuck and you don't know what to post, just put your hand up to your face and pick a finger, okay? And now we'll give you some topics. So here's some notes. You can't do screenshots on this. Maybe you can. So first, put your thumb, point at yourself, talk about me. So if I want to do a post about me. Tell not me. I'm talking about you. Talk about your story. Talk about what it is that you're all about. So if you're a martial artist, be like, I started martial arts when I was 7 years old, and maybe throw up an old photo of you as a white belt when you were 7 years old, and I got a ticket from a parade, or just tell your little story. Or it could be later on in your career, and you're like, I got my black belt at this point. It was a big achievement. Here's more about me. Here's about who I am. So your followers can kind of build relationships with you. The next thing you talk about, this finger. This stands for number 1. So what's the number 1 thing you care about most in your life? And that goes back to what I said. Explain, know who you are. So talk about the things that matter most. So if you want to grow a channel that's based around you being a martial artist or martial arts athlete, talk about martial arts. And it doesn't have to be about you. Talk about the things you love about martial arts. Talk about the competitors that inspire you. Talk about all the things that you're passionate about. And that should be easy, because if you're passionate about something, it just rolls off the top of your tongue, and you can create some sort of content based on that. And then we got this finger here, right? We got the middle finger. The middle finger represents pain, right? It represents a pain point. And if you can take a pain point and you can flip it into a positive, then you are going to really make a difference in somebody's life. So if you I'm gonna talk about Alan for a second again. Alan is a prime example of what I'm talking about here. Alan was diagnosed with cancer, and instead of turning that into a painful experience for everyone, he took that and he created a message that was so empowering and so inspirational that he found a way to make people's day. He took that negative thing about the cancer and he made it into a great thing. So things don't have to be so drastic as cancer for your post, but let's say you're a martial artist and you want people to follow you that are also martial artists. So what you can do is you can say, I haven't been able to kick above my head in 6 months, and the pain that I took, you're holding the photo is you holding a really good sidekick, and you're like, learning how to do a sidekick properly took so much pain in whatever, but what I learned out of that is that I can do anything with hard work, right? So you took a pain point of I can't do basics, and then you turned it into a motivational message of now I've learned so much because of this lesson that I've overcome. Okay, so that's this finger. And then we got this finger. This is the finger that you put your wedding ring on. So it represents love. And again, talk about love. Talk about who you love. Talk about what you love. If you are a channel that's open to talking about who's in your family, talk about that you love your family. If you love martial arts, talk about that you love martial arts. If you love video games, talk about you love video games. As long as it's on message and you're talking about things you love, like that's the secret. And then finally, this represents the pinky represents the little things. So talk about the things that are small. You don't always have to talk about the big picture things. Sometimes you can talk about the little tiny moments in life. You can, if you're at a tournament and somebody gets a picture of you talking to a judge after the tournament is over with, and you post that picture, that unusual moment that isn't normally captured on Instagram, and you say, every single time after I do my competition, I always ask the judges for feedback. This has been something that's really made me that's made me become a lot better in martial arts. It's not always like, I won first place and second place and third place and I'm the best. It was a micro moment. And so there's so many tiny little micro moments. You can do a thing like, if you're, again, I'm just sticking with martial arts here. Get a picture of you tying your belt, right? And, I know that as a martial artist, there's a lot of pride when to tie your belt correctly, and you get those lengths are even, and you get that snap, and you see that flat part, right? And you can just talk about that particular feeling in that moment of like how good it feels to be like crispy and clean and like powerful. I'm not out there talking about like how to change the world. I'm just talking about little tiny moments. So those are the 5 fingers. I spent a long time on tip number 4. So post good stuff and do it consistently. You can't post 1 week, 1 time, and then next week 50 times. You have to. You can't upset your audience. Your audience needs to know what's happening. So if you post once a day, then post once a day. And if you post 5 times a day, post 5 times a day. And you'll figure it out as time goes on if you're posting too much or too little. But be pretty consistent with it. So yeah, Sarah asked how much is too much when it comes to posts per day, and it's like it's not. I can't answer that question. It's more about consistency. I follow some magazines. There's a magazine out there on Instagram called Complex. They post at least once an hour, like all day long, constantly, and like that's a lot. And they get a lot of interaction on everything they do. And then at the same time, you look at Nike, huge, one of the biggest brands in the world. They don't post every day. I'm not sure they even post every week. They are very particular, and they do it just once in a while. So it's really just about keeping a consistent pace and rhythm. And I think you should try to start off posting several times a week until you're very good with it, and then maybe do it once a day. But just be really consistent with it, and always just think about how to engage with people. All right, so tip number 5, we're moving on. Get those screenshots ready. Send direct messages and offer to help bigger channels get even bigger. I know that sounds weird, right? Like, why would I help someone more successful than me become more successful? Because what you're trying to do is get their audience to follow you. And if you don't have anything good to offer them, they don't even want to listen. Like, what value can you give to them so that they are even interested in listening to you? Because while you're here on the direct messaging saying, hey man, and this channel has 10 times as many followers as you, say, hey, can you give me a shout out? Things like that. Like, why would they give you a shout out? Because they got another direct message that you didn't see that says, hey man, I'm willing to help you. I'm willing to give you a free t-shirt, or I'm willing to give you, I'll talk about you for a week on my channel and get all of my 1,000 people to follow you if we can just do like one little thing. And then to him, he's like, well, if I can get 1,000 people from one person, yeah, that's a good deal. And all I have to do is one post in exchange. And that person actually might even benefit more from the transaction than you do. That's a good way to go about it. You always want to give more stuff than you take. Because if you give more, you get back. It's kind of how the world works. You give and you get. And if you're always just trying to take stuff, then you don't exceed. You don't get further ahead in life. So you want to figure out how you can give more stuff to the bigger channels and help them get even bigger. And don't go too big if you can't actually help them. So start with channels that are maybe twice your size, or a couple thousand more than you, or the same size as you, and figure out a way that you can work with those guys. And don't be afraid to add. Well, hold on. I'm going to save that one. That is actually another tip. Okay, so the next thing, let's just move on to the next thing here. Tip 6 is study your analytics. If you have a personal profile, you don't have analytics. So what you'll want to do is transition over into the business profile on Instagram. If you don't know how to do that, just figure it out. Go on YouTube or something, or go on Google. You can find out that stuff. So in order to have a business account on Instagram, you also have to have a fan page on Facebook. It goes hand in hand, so make sure you have a fan page on Facebook before you even try that. But what analytics allow you to do is they allow you to see stats. You can see which of your posts get the most likes and the most impressions, the most reach, and basically which ones are resonating with people. And you can study your analytics. You're like, oh, I get way more engagement if I post at 6 o'clock than if I post at 9 a.m. And from those metrics, after experimenting with doing it over and over again, and you're constantly like revising and looking at it, you can start to kind of figure out what's working for you. And that's a really smart way to grow. So just study your analytics. So create a business profile and do that. And I don't have like a clear cut, like do this or that. Just study them, look at them, figure out what those numbers are trying to tell you. And that'll help you grow a lot. All right, you ready for tip 7? We're cruising right along here. Tip number 7, collaborate with channels that you have that are on the same size audience as you. So earlier I was talking about going with the big channels and seeing if you can kind of strike it rich, I guess, by offering to make big channels even bigger. Well, you can also just work with the channels of the same size as you, and they're way more willing to work with you. And you know who's about the same size as you is pretty much everyone else that's at the competition circuit, or your friends in martial arts, so or in your karate school. They all probably have 2,000 or less followers on average. Some of them might have a bit more, but really anything under like 10,000 followers, it's all kind of the same-ish. Even it doesn't feel the same to you. As far as like a business or a brand's concerned, it doesn't really matter too much. But the point is that you want to like collaborate with these channels. You want to figure out how you guys can do stuff together. So I'm going to give you guys a really good example, a practical example that you can do today. And again, I got to talk about Hyper, but that's because I work with Hyper every single day, and I'm all about Hyper, and I talk about athletes with Hyper. And Hyper is doing a challenge right now. It's a fight challenge. And so let me show you. Let me show you who did that. It was Kevin Walker. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on 1 second, guys. Showing you a video, breaking it up. It's not just me lecturing anymore. We can actually watch something. It's kind of like when your teacher's not at school and substitute comes in, they just play the video for your class. I don't know. All right, here's the video. Here it is. Man, this guy posts a lot. So let's switch it up. Let's full screen that. So here's something Kevin did.
Coming to you live again with another Hyper Fight combination. Coming to you live from American Martial Arts here in Overland Park. I have my partner here, Travis, holding mitts. So we're going to walk through the combination, which is both fighting and tricks. So we're going to go jab, cross. We're going to go slip, cross.
So basically he's giving out a fight challenge. He's like, hey guys, do this thing. And then he tags some people that are about the same level as him. So he tags some of his peers. He's like, hey, you guys do the same thing. And then what's going to happen is they're going to accept the challenge. They're going to post their video. And then they're going to tag him. And then the people that follow his friends are going to want to follow him. And then it just works both ways, just like that. So as long as you're kind of like constantly figuring out ways to work with other people, and you can do it through fun things like the Hyper Challenge, where right now it's the Hyper Fight Club Kick Challenge, like that's gold. That's going to make you grow, and it's fun. So here's his shout out.
So let's start off with Mr. Shaquan Parson, Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go Mr. Jacob Ellis, San Diego, California. And last but not least, let's go Mr. Sheldon Ray, New York, New York. All right. Thank you.
Cool. So you get how that works, right? Collaborate, and it doesn't have to be Hyper challenges. It can be anything. If you're at a tournament and you got a friend there, like, why don't you guys like do a team sync form together or something? Like, you don't have to compete, just do it on the sidelines, do a quick little thing together. Or if you're a tricker, like do a team trick combo, or you do one trick combo, somebody else does a trick combo, and you both post the same thing on your Instagram accounts and share with each other. Collaborate. Take everybody's audiences and mix them all together so that they grow and they follow you. That's probably the biggest thing you can do to grow your Instagram channel is collaborate. Cool? You guys digging this stuff? Looks like some of you guys are. You got a lot of people are still sticking around. So we're going to move on to tip number 8. Boom. Tip number 8 is once you're ready, that's the key, ask for sponsorships from businesses. Now, you can't be in denial here. You got 100, 200, 300, 400, even 1,000 followers, and you're not really going to get much reaction from businesses. Nobody's really going to want to give you any money or product for that kind of stuff. So be a little bit more realistic. So really focus on growing that account. But there's going to come a day where you're like, you know what? I've done it. I've figured it out. I love what I'm doing. I'm growing this account. I'm getting real followers. I'm getting like a real engagement. People really want to see what I have. And you'll start to feel it because people will start direct messaging you and asking you for favors, asking you for shout outs. They'll be asking you tips and advice on the things that you're interested in. And once that point happens in your life, then you go, okay, I'm starting to get a real audience here. Now it's time to get those sponsorships. Pull out that list that we made earlier of those brands that you really aspire to work with, and call them up, send them direct messages, send them emails, and if they don't answer your direct message and they don't answer your email and they don't answer your phone call, they do it all over again, and call them until you get a response. And the response is probably going to be no, but thank you. And then you go down the next company on your list, no, but thank you. And the next company on your list, and they'll go, oh, we'll give you a free shirt. Great. Now you wear the free shirt. Now all of a sudden you got a little bit of sponsorship. You put the free shirt on and you wear it often on a regular basis, and this is your way of giving thanks to that company that gave you the free product. And you're like, hey, I'm wearing my whatever shirt today, hashtag whatever, and you at them so that they see that you are representing them. And then after you do this for a while, you call up another company. You're like, hey, I'm looking for sponsorships. I got sponsored with this t-shirt company. You check it out, and they go, oh yeah, okay, well you actually do nice things once people give you stuff. You don't take it for granted. So, okay, here's our water bottle. Boom. Now I got my t-shirt and I got my water bottle. And every time I do a post, I wear my t-shirt and I wear my water bottle, and I hashtag the water bottle company and the t-shirt company. And then you go on and you call again. Hey, do you want to sponsor me? Nope. Okay. Hey, do you want to sponsor me? Nope. Okay. Hey, do you want to sponsor me? Well, okay. Yeah, you have the water bottle, you have the shirt. Like, cool. Let's give you a hat. Cool. Boom. I got my hat. And now you just like inch by inch, you grow and grow. And then those companies are going to share your stuff. They're going to repost it. They're going to talk about you. They're going to give you exposure. You're going to gain their audience. You're going to grow even faster. And eventually you're going to get to a bigger point where all of a sudden you can call up a company and go, hey, I got have 500,000 subscribers on my Instagram channel, and I post every single day, and I get at least 1,000 comments every single day. You want to give me some money? How much? Cool, let's do it. And then you work from there, and you just keep, and eventually it becomes your job. And you can do this. Now, your parents aren't telling you this, and your teachers aren't telling you this, and the tournament promoters aren't telling you this, and nobody's telling you this stuff, but it's totally possible. You gotta let your mind realize it's possible, and you gotta be very clear about what you want to do, and you gotta be very patient, and you gotta work very hard. And the only way that you can work patiently and hard for a very lofty goal is you have to be passionate about it. So you gotta have fun along the way, which, hey, that's easy enough, right? And that's gonna bring us on to tip number 9. Did I mess up my tips? One second here, guys. Oh, yeah. You know what? I don't even want that. Let's get out of here. Sorry, guys. I was on such a roll, and then I messed it up. What is this? Oh, this tip's super important. As soon as I just messed up the graphic, I got to rebuild it. So tip number 9. It's always about them. It's not about you. All right, yeah, this show is called Live with Wolfman, and you're seeing Jacob Wolfman, and he's just blabbering on. And so everybody's like, oh, he's just trying to get attention. But no, if you're listening to what I have to say, I'm telling you how to better your life. I'm showing you some ways, based off of what I know, to make your life better. And okay, so you don't have to have a channel that's always giving advice, but you can have a channel that's inspiring people, that's helping people and encouraging people and being a good force in the world, because the internet is full of so much negativity, and you're the rare person that's actually just a positive source and a break from that. Like, think about every post you make. How is that post going to make someone else's life better? How is that going to make the community's life better? Why should someone follow you? It's always about them. It's not about you. Okay? So just always remember that. Like, everything in life, like, don't make it about yourself. The more that it's more about me, the more it's kind of like, you're just a selfish kid. Like, you sound like every other kid that's needy and wants attention. So don't just try to make it about getting attention for yourself. The reason you're getting attention for yourself is to be a vehicle to help out a whole bigger world, right? That's why I want you to share the video and like the video. And that's why I want you to participate in the comments, because the more you participate in the comments, the more this community grows, and the more like we all benefit from it. Does that make sense? So it's always about the other person, not about yourself. And now I'm going to end it today, and we are almost right on the clock, right there within the hour. So I'm going to finish it up with my last tip. Number 10, follow through with your plans, but be able to adapt and change. Okay? So the internet's always changing. 2 years ago, there was no such thing as Instagram stories. And 5 years ago, there's no such thing as Snapchat. And tomorrow, Facebook's going to completely change, and there's going to be a whole new set of rules, and this other app's going to appear, and the Instagram algorithm's going to change on you, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. And you're always going to have to constantly adapt. But despite that fact, have a game plan, and you got to stick with it. Just like a workout plan. Like, you want to be a world champion, you know you got to train next number of days, you know you got to do this and this and this. You do this. But be willing to realize that the rules are going to change, and then you got to shift gears. So have your plan, be willing to change, and be flexible. All right, so I allow myself 1 hour every day to do this live stream. It's been an hour. We've had a lot of people tune in. It looks like the show's getting bigger every time, and I appreciate all of you guys that listen. A lot of talking on my end, and a lot of people that follow us on a regular basis, and I really appreciate it. If you've watched this show, make sure that you turn the notifications on. If you scroll up to the top of your particular feed, you should have it on thing. So next time we go live, you can join us. This is episode number 9. So I've been doing this episode every day at 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And so if you just kind of remember that, you can tune in. And that's a wrap. Oh, Sarah asked, what's your view on hashtags? Utilize all 30, or does that look needy? I'll answer that question real quick because it's important. I actually have a little article. If you look on my Facebook page and you go under the notes section, if you can find that, I have a little article about my thoughts about hashtags for school owners. But in general, my thoughts on hashtags are that they are for marketers. They're not for real people. So if you blast with hashtags, the followers that you gain from that are just the people with the mindset of, it's kind of like a follow for follow game. So you're going to get bots. You're going to get real people, but those real people might just want you to pay attention to them. So there is some benefit to it. Like I said, like if you're trying to get sponsored with a brand or a company and they have a hashtag, yeah, you put that hashtag in. Personally, I'm in the attitude lately that I like to have it as the first comment rather than in this post description. I want the post description to be nice and short, and impact and powerful and engaging. And I don't want people to get cluttered up and confused by the message with all my hashtags. But I do include hashtags in company, Hyper. I run Hyper's Instagram account. So you'll see me use a bunch of hashtags in that case. As far as a personal brand, like it does have some good to it, feel free, but hashtags aren't going to be the driving force to growing your Instagram channel. What's going to be the driving force to your Instagram channel are the tips that I laid out today. Posting good stuff, posting often, engaging with people, building real friendships, and building friendships with the people that are regularly on Instagram, the people that love to hit double tap, the people that love to leave comments. You want to make friends with those people because those people are going to help you grow faster. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thank you for the positive feedback. Please, if you enjoyed this episode, hit share, post it on your wall, tag a friend that would benefit from this stuff, and let's keep growing the channel. And until next time, hope you guys have a great day.